up? What are you doing again? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's hashtag Book Nerd Again discussion is part 2 of Angelfire. Angelfire by Courtney Allison Moulton. And if you have not watched the first part, I will have a link in the description box to take you to the first part, to part 1 of my thoughts of this book. And if you have not read A Dance of Darkness or Angelfire, or have watched any of my hashtag Book Nerd Again discussions on it, then why the commune RCS are you here? Seriously, go read the books, go watch the videos, and then come back here so we can talk about it. And yes, this book is part of my hashtag AngelReadAthon. And I love this. This book is really good. So, and we're starting off at a good spot. Let me just get to it. If you guys don't remember the cover, here's the beautiful cover presented by Min Popo. And where we left off was when this is after we find a little bit out about more than from Will's past. We find out about who Will is. So now we're welcoming Marshmallow the Second, which because she got her car replaced. And she asked something. So Ellie asked Will something that I thought was curious in the previous part. If it hurts when something breaks, because she broke her hand. And Will says every time. And I think he meant more than just the bones. I think his heart as well. And it reminds me of when Harry had to regrow his arms as well, regrow his arm in Chamber of Secrets. And he also says, I think this was after about if he wanted to be a if he ever wanted to be a demonic reaper, and Will says no, and I never ever want to be. They're the incarnation of everything terrible in this world, the manifestation of hate, sickness, greed, everything evil you can imagine. And it reminds me of Lilith, the story of Lilith. If you go back to the Embrace series, what Onyx told us about Lilith, and the angels and the fallen can't fully come into the mortal plane in their corporeal form. They can wander and influence events, but they can't physically interfere. Where is it? It takes an incredible amount of energy and strength for their kind to survive on here. A powerful magical relic can help, but they're nearly impossible to find. And it goes back to what a theme with the Embrace series, where remember, if you guys remember, that Nox and Yuri and Michael, they can't appear in the physical plane for a short period, for a long period of time. And it takes a lot of energy, because remember, they're non-corporeal. And what relics are powerful with objects with a connection to either the divine or the damned. They are usually cursed or blessed with angelic magic and a Enochian spell. They have a variety of uses during spells, and some have the ability to give corporeal form to an angel or fallen in the mortal realm. And the most they can do on their own is show up briefly, perhaps to deliver a message, before slipping back into their own realms. If you came up against a fallen in his corporeal form, then God help us all, I don't know what would happen. And see, that sticks to the theme that Embrace had too, and I'm glad that it stuck to this. And Nathaniel said, a friend of mine in Antiques, whom I've worked with on several occasions, informed me of that a client of his, a very wealthy local collector, bragged to him about acquiring something with the sign of Azrael on it. And they're in their office. And what Nathaniel said, well, I can't, about Nathaniel's power, well, I can hear the thoughts of others. I don't really like to fight if I can avoid it, but I can really mess with your head if I want to. It's more of a defensive technique than anything. I can even make you see anything I want to, from paradise to Hades, or fall asleep with a single word, which is pretty kick-ass if you ask me. And the client that Nathaniel mentions, he's very, very important, and you'll understand why as we get through the series. And that doesn't work well on very powerful Reapers. Anyway, I also have a plan to get for you to get a peek at this object. I hope you don't mind getting your hands dirty. And yes, breaking and entering is happening. And according to Will, Nathaniel funds just about anything we need. I need to eat, and my clothes get torn a lot. I have to replace them. His job at the library is more of a hobby. And it kind of reminds me of how of Sans, because Saiyans tend to get their clothes, rip their clothes, and get hungry a lot after battle. So it just reminds me, and I'm curious if Toriyama kind of took inspiration from that. I can get the artifact out of his house by carrying it, but it won't be quick. The truck is so we can make a fast getaway. If there's one thing I've learned in the last few centuries, it's better to be safe than sorry, because they got a U-Haul. And Ellie crossed her arms and laughed. Why do you always make so much sense? And I've had plenty of chances to make no. This is what Nathan. I think it was Will or Nathaniel what said this, but I think it's funny. I've had plenty of chances to make no sense at all. It's about time I get things right. Are you ready? And they go to get the sarcophagus, and there's an Enchi inside it. It has the Enchi inside it, and it was a freaking trap with 2 Veer, with Jonathan and Gear. And Gear said, "What a fool." Gear said, "Jonathan was correct. He did have something very special in that box, but he had no idea how special. That team will reward me greatly. Thank you for disposing of my friend here, so I won't have to waste my time on him." And I thrashed again. I love this. This is great. I thrashed against him, but I couldn't free my arms. I pounded my knee into his groin, and his eyes bulged, and he roared in pain, releasing me. It was good to know that when swords failed, simple girl tactics always worked, even on monsters. So yes, kicking in the nuts always works. And I have to put in, why is it always the dick? It does make you stronger, but also you also lost yourself along with the fear. It's not safe for you to lose your head like that, no matter what advantage it gives you. And this is about Will telling her about her power. You mean I can hurt someone I don't mean to? Yes. And she says, "Have I hurt you?" And when he didn't answer, a heaviness settled on me, and I didn't want to know anymore. His silence said everything. I had lost control before and hurt him. And this is what Nathaniel says. The seal of Azrael, as I thought, there's something Inashian around the seal, but I can't read the divine language. No one can. What else do we have? Cuneiform? Can you read that? And cuneiform is Sumerian. And they developed it, yes, Nathaniel says, but picking a bit of dirt off a glyph. But cuneiform evolved greatly over thousands of years, and this is a different from the old Assyrian script I know best. And not accurately right now, but I will. I just need to need some time. I'm guessing that it's from the 19th century, because 19th century BC, because based on some of its most frequently occurring glyphs. Whatever was inside that box, Ellie gets like this feeling from the sarcophagus, because she says, "Whatever was inside that box wanted me. I could feel its lulling a voice still creeping inside my skull, so hard to resist. There was a frightening urge inside me to lie, across the top, to climb in, to get as close as possible. I shuddered and forced myself to look away. And I wanted to believe him, I wanted to trust him, but I gazed upon the sarcophagus, watching the beautiful Inashian symbols vibrate and sway while nothing else moved. Between my fingers, my necklace pulsed. I didn't think the others could see what I saw or hear the humming inside my head. The gentle voice became more insistent by the second, and until I can just make out the alien childlike voice in the back of my mind, and it was saying, "Predator." And now we're getting to Josie's party. Josie is hella cool. Like, I like her, and I would love to go to her parties. I swear to Kami. And this is a costume party too. And Will, I love it when before they go to Josie's, and Will just comes in with his claymore on, because that's what his sword is. It's a claymore. And the other guys are like, that's not a costume, but that sword is badass. Is that like a Final Fantasy replica? I was like, yes, I loved it. So they get to Josie's party, and Will ditches after Will ditch, Ellie dances and chats with Caden, and Will punched freaking Caden in the face. And Caden was wearing like a Phantom of the Opera costume, and I'm like, okay. And Will punched Caden in the face. And Caden said, "I only wanted to meet her. I had to get a look at the girl who's been rustling everyone's feathers so much lately. She seems to be the object of Ragnar's obsession, not to mention Bastian's. Can you lay my curiosity?" And Will said he's one of Bastian's Veer. And basically he's Bastian's son, but Will doesn't know that yet. And she's a lovely thing, Caden said, still a stone, his chin up, his eyes locked on Will's. "I see why you keep her so close. You wouldn't want anyone like me sweeping off her feet, would you?" "Oh, okay, Caden, you can sweep me off my feet. If I have to choose between Will and Caden, I will take Caden any day. I'm sorry. I love Will, but damn it, Caden's hot." And my dear, Caden said, his voice is sensuous like wine, "I don't intend to harm you. Your guardian here is another story. We have unfinished business." And Will's like, we aren't carrying our quarrel into the world of humans, Will said. It can wait. And suddenly Caden vanished, and Will stabbed forward in shock and anger. His blade punched through the wall, and I felt warm lips on my neck, and I screeched and wheeling away. And Caden grabbed me closer to him, and as Will shot toward us, Caden whispered into my ear, "We'll meet again soon." I thought that was like, oh, Caden, you sneaky little bastard! I love him! And he thought a moment, this might not be the craziest, but once we chased a Reaper and he jumped off a bridge, you asked me to go after him while you ran downriver. Yeah, that has got to be the fucking craziest shit. The Gregory weren't truly wicked like the Fallen when they rebelled against heaven, but somehow being bound to earth as punishment caused them to develop moral desires and emotions, instead of silently watching over the human world as they were supposed to. They slept with mortal women and fathered powerful half-human, half-angel creatures called the Nephilim. And this is where the Nephilim are monsters. We thought they were Penryn in the end of days, but they weren't. But here we go about the Nephilim. And the Nephilim, in a sense, they were really creepy as shit in the Embrace series too, if you remember. And the Nephilim were monsters. They were born out of fallen spirit, and nothing good came from them. They were enormous and violent, more monster than most frightening of Reapers. And God flooded the earth to destroy them, and then he made the Gregory infertile so that no more abominations would be created. A handful of the Nephilim may have survived, but I've never seen one. It's not possible that you are one of them. You'd be 10 feet tall and looking for a fight left and right. And they were nasty enough for God to flood the world to kill them all off. He was only ever done that once. He's only ever done that once. And you know, of all the horrible things out there now, he was pretty desperate. And Lucifer loved God, and here's about Lucifer. He loves God very much, but an angel isn't supposed to feel love. God does, however, and he loves humans more than anything. An angel isn't supposed to feel jealousy either, but Lucifer did. He was jealous of humans because God loves them more, and he rebelled and lost. And I'm curious, because we'll see this a little bit more when, as the #AngelReadAthon goes on, that I'm kind of curious why angels weren't designed to feel loved by God. I know they were designed to be the perfect beings, but the perfect beings can't have emotions. It just doesn't make sense. And love is a beautiful thing, he said. You have to be careful with it. It can destroy you. It goes back to what Asher mentioned about love. That's why, and here's our explanation. You have to be careful with it. It can destroy you, and this is why angels aren't supposed to feel emotion. They must be infallible without a doubt. And so basically, angels are supposed to be warriors, and that's it. They're not supposed to feel anything. I explained it to him, the battle with the Reapers and me lying in the street, but I left out the most intimate parts. He kept his expression blank, and he nodded a couple of times. And this is what, this was in New York just before, this, according to Will, this memory that she had, or flashback that she had, it was in New York just before the Civil War broke out. I'm happy your memory is coming back to you, but I wish you had remembered something else. And I love that Will, they're in the, this was when they were in the warehouse, and Will was playing his guitar, and he was playing Journey, and I was like, Journey, yay! He was one of my favorites, Will in the Sky. And Will, and then she said, Will, as I was leaving the office, I remembered something. It was the night I met you, and I cut you down from those chains all those centuries ago. You were a smartass even then. I don't deny it. And how did you get captured like that? Allie asked her. So let's ask him. So this is how he got captured. I was hunting demonic reapers with Nathaniel. We got separated, and I was cornered. They tortured and interrogated me to find out what I knew about other angelic reapers, but I didn't know anything. I was playing vigilante with Nathaniel. We didn't know what we were doing back then, and then you came. It kind of sounds like he was being a rogue, if you think about it. But I told you to leave me alone, Ellie said. What made you try again? That very night, an angel came to me, he confessed. I don't know his name or why he appeared to me of all people, but he told me that your fate and mine were tied together. He said that I needed to protect you because you were the most sacred of all things. My destiny was to become your guardian in a long line of guardians. I was chosen. He gave me my sword and power to awaken you so you could become the prelator in each reincarnation. He gave me a purpose. A prelator in each reincarnation. He gave me my purpose, some sort of resolution in my immortality, a focus, and you gave me purpose. And it's kind of like how Onyx had his clarity. That's what it kind of reminded me of. The script is, and Nathaniel said about the script, is indeed archaic cuneiform, but it's older than Old Assyrian, older than the Akkadian style, by approximately 5,000 years. And I thought it was funny when Ellie said Jesus and Nathaniel said Jesus isn't here. He's so cheesy. And what I mean is that the Enshi was locked up in a sarcophagus 3,000 years before the birth of Christ. And while if you look closely at the sarcophagus, you'll know that it's beautifully decorated. The ancient Mesopotamians only ever buried very important people this way. So the body within is, at the very least, of great importance. That's the first bad news. The second is, if you kindly look at this symbol here, the inscriptions tell me our friend inside is a true soul reaper. And Will says he means, what Will says here is he means, what Nathaniel means is being a being that can do whatever it wants with the souls instead of just sending them to hell. And it kind of reminds me of, oh, what's her name? It reminds me of Hades' daughter in the Gods and Monsters series by Kelly Keaton. That's what it's like it's a true Grim Reaper, death himself, and that's what humans like to call it. And it's possible that Enshi is an angel then, or of archangel rank perhaps. And Nathaniel says, yes, best case scenario is that this is some kind of extra powerful Reaper who can send souls to heaven or hell. That's possibly how the Grim Reaper legend began, or the Wearer of the Souls began as well. And the worst case scenario is our sleeping friend here actually eats the souls, meaning the soul is gone for good, no heaven or hell. And oh, now I remember Mel. Mel's the name of the goddess. It means, and he closes up. What Nathaniel says, it means that Enshi can destroy your soul, and if it does that, you're done. You won't pass on, and you won't ever come back. You're gone. I love Ellie's idea. What if we chained it up good and tight and dropped it off in the middle of the ocean? All the pressure would crush the box, wouldn't it? Well, yeah. Not a bad idea, and I believe any non-magical force, don't believe any non-magical force could resurrect the Enshi. And Lauren can feel it too. She is a cleric sentiment, meaning she's able to know things by touching objects and would be able to tell if there's a connection between you and the Enshi. And touching is okay, Lauren assured her, because Ellie was kind of skeptical. And I need to ignite a reaction, and whatever is inside likes you a lot. So please, just touch it. It won't bite, I promise. And the Enshi, and this is what Lauren says, I could hear it screaming in there, filling my head with these horrid shrieks. The pre-leader's presence is driving it mad. Just that little touch sent it into a frenzy. And no, that wasn't fear. It wants you. It needs you. It's screaming your name, and its power is huge. Like a black void in a bottomless pit of death and despair. It's so dark in there, so dark and hungry. Nathaniel, I've never felt anything like this. You have to destroy it. You can't let that Enshi wait. You can't let Bastian get a hold of it. And it's old. Older than Bastian, than the Prelator, older than the sarcophagus it's trapped in. It's so old, it just feels empty like a black hole. It's possible that it's a real soul reaper, and don't touch it anymore. I think Ellie's presence might be enough to wake it if she were around the sarcophagus for too long. Perhaps even a touch in the wrong place might do it. Lauren! Phrasing! And then we get to suck on that moment with Ragnarok, and unfortunately for him, it was mercy that I lacked, and not a spine, because Ragnarok said she didn't have the spine to kill him. And I raised my swords high over her head, and he stopped laughing when I had finished hacking off his head. And he dropped his head to mine, his body so close I could hardly stand it. This is what Will said. Will said, if I lose you, I'll find you. And I thought it was so sweet. And then he kissed him! Or then he kissed her, and I was like, oh my god! And sorry, Lincoln, you've been replaced here. And you had to pull, and then he pulled a Lincoln. And when I didn't pull away, he deepened his kiss. He deepened his kiss with hunger, fervently, as if it were our last, even though it was our first. He finally broke free, but he didn't pull away. He touched his forehead to mine and closed his eyes. I'm sorry. And it's like, God damn it! God damn it! This is so Lincoln in embrace. His expression was terribly vulnerable in pain, and he seemed to be desperately trying not to break. You have to understand how difficult this is for me. He said finally, I've been devoted to you for so long. I've done my best to serve you and keep you safe, and this, how I feel, is going against too many of the rules. I know it's wrong and I know it's stupid, but I don't really care. And the angel who made me your guardian, I think he was an archangel. He told me, he told me I was to protect you and nothing more. I'm not supposed to feel what I feel. And then Lauren smiled sweetly. And Reapers don't like it when you can see them. And Nathaniel, and this is how she met Nathaniel. And Nathaniel saved my life. I owe a lot to him, and I care about him deeply. It's like, aww. And this is what Will says. Faith has nothing to do with my existence. But yes, you're right. I don't like killing, but I have to do it because it's my duty. Protecting human souls is the duty of any angelic reaper. Protecting you is my duty. I'm a soldier of war, and the only difference between our war and the one between humans is that this fight has been going on since time began, and it's not likely to be over anytime soon. And he did the damn lip thing again, and she said my stomach flipped. My mother was very devout in her belief she's talking about Madeline, that doing is the right thing. She fought hard against the demonic, and I think wearing a cross made her feel closer to the archangel she served and to God. And I have to ask, why wasn't it a Star of David, Connie, damn it? Jews are not getting love. I think it kept her grounded. And he also says, you kept me grounded. And this crucifix reminds me there are bigger things happening out there than just you and me. There is a world beyond protecting you, even though you're all I really know. You asked me if I regretted any of it, and the answer truthfully is yes. The only thing I ever regret is failing you, letting you die. And Reapers don't have an afterlife. Heaven and hell are for human souls. When a Reaper dies, that's it, so my mother's gone. And I'm curious what you guys think about that. I'm not sure. And, like, Will says it, but we don't really know. But at the same time, we don't have any reincarnations of the Reapers as well. And Reapers don't, and the root beer flow kisses, oh my Kami, I'm going to have to try that. And yes, and letting your root beer float melt and then mixing it, it tastes really good. I will say that. And I'm a diet root beer float girl, so. And then there was the spooning with Will, and I was like, oh, so sweet. And he didn't fight with the traditional blades Will and I were used to. Nathaniel had a thing for guns. Yeah, and I don't know, and I'm going to get a phrasing thing here, but we don't know if the guns compensate for anything. Oh, and yeah, and this is what Will said. I told you, I didn't want you seeing how much I really have to eat. It will give you nightmares, I assure you. And and that line reminded me of what, when Goku and Vegeta were inside of Boo, and he said, and Vegeta's like, I would never want to be in your stomach. I've seen how you eat dessert. I started laughing. And this is when they're in Florida, and she has to lie to her parents and say that and have Kate lie and say that she's with Kate for spring break. And they're under attack in the Caribbean, and of course, Will and Ellie were having a moment, and the fucking demonic Reapers ruined the moment. And guns won't kill a Reaper. And their ship was weird. What was going on with the ship, they had like this they were on this old fishing boat that was going uber slow, and and the crew was being kind of creepy and all that shit. And what Nathaniel said, you shoot enough bullets to destroy the head, it will turn to stone once it's dead. And the first thing I saw when I emerged was Nathaniel standing with his back to me, and above him Ivar, her massive wings high and wide, her pale eyes grew bright like twin full moons embedded deep in her skull. Her power surged around her, whipping her ashen hair wildly. She backhanded Angel's face, and he crashed to the ground. And something thunked above me, and my head snapped to see the madly grinning shark-toothed face of Gear leaning over the roof of the cabin. His wings spread like a canopy over me, and he leaped off the roof and landed between me and Will. And Bastian is fucking here. Finally, we get some Bastian. And after Ellie killed Gear with a khopesh to the heart and one to the throat. And Bastian's power has bruised my skin. This is how powerful Bastian is. He's fucking OP. Bastian's power has bruised my skin and torn the cloth of my shirt, but the pain and wounds vanished in seconds. I'm not here to kill you, he said. And where's Caden? I asked. He decided to sit this one out, and something dark flickered in Bastian's mind. He and I don't share the same sympathy. So Bastian knows that Caden, I don't think he knows that Caden visited Ellie, but he knows something. He knows that Caden is different. And I studied his face to trying to find any emotion to read, but he revealed nothing. And she's like, just fight me already. Seriously, just fight her. And his form blurred, and he appeared suddenly right in front of my face. His voice was a whisper, seething with malice. I know what you are. And Bastian drifted away from me, spreading his white feathers wings wide. Your very presence breaks all the rules. You hide among the humans you love, and so, in doing so, you gamble with their lives. And I shook my head, steadied my nerves, and splashed up to the main deck. I swung around the cabin and spotted Nathaniel as he hurled the sarcophagus over the side of the boat. My heart leapt for joy, but crashed right back down when I saw Ivar dive in the ocean for it. And a shadow passed over my head, and I spun around, preparing for attack. Will landed, spreading out from his back with a pair of ivory wings. Wings! Yes, we finally see Will's wings. And the feathers glistened in the moonlight, pearlescent. They were absolutely beautiful. Of course I am, he said, but I didn't want you to see me like this. I didn't want you to see them, not before you remembered. And Ivar surfaced without the sarcophagus, their soaking white hair matted and stringy, but one arm hanging limply at an odd angle. You've lost, Bastian, I shouted. Gear is dead and she's at the bottom of the ocean. And Bastian ignored me and looked at Will, and a cruel, subtle smile spread across his face. So good to see you again, William. I'm pleased to be reunited with your charge, though it appears to me things have changed between you. So he knows what's going on. And if you kill her now, she will just return. We must be patient, and have no doubt, Prelator, this isn't the end, not yet. The end she will awaken and consume your soul. And from the corner of my eye, I caught a flash of silver gray wings. And Caden has silver gray wings, which I think is interesting. And I don't know what you guys think about Caden having silver gray wings. Because to me, I would think that Caden would have black wings because he's demonic, but I'm wondering if the silver black wings have to do with the ancestry, which would make a lot of sense. His opal eyes were on fire as he looked from Bastian to me, and his leathery wings gave a shake and folded to his back but disappeared. And Bastian said, "A little late, aren't you?" And Caden straightened and brushed off the front of his shirt. Better late than never. And Bastian vanished and reappeared in front of Caden and grabbed a hold of his chin. The repercussions of your act of defiance will be great. I would feel nothing if I killed you. Well, good to know Bastian hasn't changed his feelings on Caden, which is sad. The next instant, Will's sword sliced through the air between us and halted, poised right between Caden's eyes. Will was exhausted and breathless, but he never gave up fighting. One more step and I turn your face into a donut. And now I want a donut. And Caden stared. I love what Caden says here. Caden is such a smart ass, and I love it. That's why I'm Team Caden. Pretty sure that sword would turn my face into two pieces if you want to get technical. And then Ellie's like, seriously, Will, we don't have time for this. Caden, the sarcophagus is gone. There's no way you can. Good. Caden said abruptly. Bastian can't let that thing out. Then this journey wasn't for nothing. He beat his wings and flew off into the black sky. An exhaustion consumed me suddenly, and I looked around me dazedly at the human corpses, all that was left of the Elsa's crew, littering the deck. The sarcophagus was gone. I was emotionally and physically depleted, and now we were stranded on a sinking ship. And Gabriel, the gentle voice in my head whispered, close your eyes. That was definitely not Will. And, yep, Ellie is Gabriel. And a figure came into view, the ghostly shape of a man surrounded by 3 pairs of creamy white-colored wings covered in fine layers of fiery gold, as if the feathers were the color of dawn on a field of newly fallen snow. His head was crowned by closely cropped golden curls, and over his billowing, blinding white robes, he wore armor made of gleaming gold. The weight of his power bore down on me, like the summer sun, and the glory too pure and divine to be real. My lips grew numb, and I couldn't stop myself from weeping. And, I think in Embrace, and I also believe in Permanent in the End of Days, and we don't get archangels in the Beautiful Dark series, but this one reminds me of Archangemon, kind of. And I know I'm being a Digimon nerd right now, but that's what it reminds me of. Gabriel, the creature said, you must not let the wicked seize the beast. Lucifer must not gain control. There is no price too great to pay to prevent that. And you are Gabriel, the left hand and power of God, the Prelator. I am Michael, and I'm here to guide you, Gabriel, my sister. You have work to do, Gabriel. The wicked will retrieve the beast from the belly of the sea, and you must be there to prevent the awakening. All will be lost. The second war, if you fail, the second war is nigh. And the beast is the Enshi, isn't it? And Michael nodded, and he said, Guardian, I give you my sword so that you can protect my sister, Michael said. Nothing more. Nothing. She is not yours. You belong to her. And Ellie says, Michael, if you're supposed to guide me, then why don't you speak to me anymore? A long time ago, you used to give me orders. Tell me where to go. Why did you stop helping me? Did I do something wrong? And Michael says, you've forgotten how to listen. And I think that has more to do with Ellie becoming more and more human. And I rose to my feet, unsure if I fully understood what he said. Are you the one that keeps sending me here? Every time I die, you're the one who brings me back. And Michael says, you are reborn by your own power. Our prophets foresaw the coming of the beast, and you chose to remain in heaven to train and gain extra strength for the trials ahead. So that's why Ellie's there longer. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so much anger and battle? And how can I be Gabriel if I feel so evil? And this is what Michael says. The divine were never meant to be mortal. And this kind of think about the Exiles in the Embrace series. The Exiles were like this too. The emotions you're feeling now are something you were never meant to feel. You have not fallen from grace, for your grace is with you always. You must be strong, vigilant, and do not forget yourself, or you will never understand your power. Humans are amazing creatures, but their ability to hate is as great as their ability to love. Let your humanity become a strength, not a weakness. And Ellie says, if I spent all that time in heaven training, then why am I not stronger before? Why am I not laying waste at all my enemies? I will fall if I'm not strong enough. And God has faith in you. And Michael said, God has faith in you. Do not lose your faith in him. And Will says, what have I done? This is after Michael left. I've touched you in ways I shouldn't have, and I've always wanted you. How can I ignore this? What I've done and felt for you is forbidden. You are, and a reaper's power is great, and he also says a reaper's power is great. It doesn't matter who we serve, the angels or the fallen, but it's the way we choose to use it that makes the impact. I serve you, my angel, my Gabriel, my Ellie. You're stronger than I am. What I've seen you do is beyond anything I could ever imagine. But we know what you are now, and things will be different. You're Gabriel, bound in human form, the archangel of revelation, mercy, resurrection, and death. There's nothing you can't do. And Michael gave me a warning. I don't know how to explain to you. And the thing I want to mention here is in Pemberton in the End of Days, Gabriel was a man. And a lot of the other, you'll notice in the hashtag AngelReadAthon, is Gabriel will usually be a man. And that's because you can't accept what you are when you told me. Why can't you do the same for me? And this is what Ellie says. And Ellie says it's not about what I want and think. You are an archangel. And Ellie says, I'm just a girl. I love what Ellie says because this is true. I feel this way. I'm just a girl with a few weird things about me, but all you can see is a girl, the same girl you've known for centuries, the same girl you fight for, the same girl you kissed. I'm no different in another world. I may be who Michael said I am, but right now, right here with you, I'm just Ellie. I don't care what he said to you. I just care about the right now. And that kiss, oh my God, we had our kiss. And the romance here reminds me of Lincoln and Violet in a way, if you think about it. And Will is pulling a total Lincoln right now because technically they're not supposed to be together because of Gregory and all that shit. But you need to read the Embrace series. He smiled weak, and this is what Will says. I know, I hate them. I don't want to be anything like Bastian and the others. I try so hard to distance myself from the rest of my kind, but these wings remind me that I'm a monster. And I love what Ellie says. You're not a monster. You're an angel, not me, my guardian angel. And I was like, aww. And Will's wings are soft and delicate, and the scent brought memories of a warm golden dawn in my mind. And I ran my fingers down the length of the feathers, and the wing quivered beneath my touch. You're a mortal angel, he suggested. You can't shapeshift like a reaper. Your body isn't an angel's body either, but you have their power. Do you remember how ghost-like Michael was, as if he were only half here, and if he couldn't completely enter the mortal world? Maybe that's why you were born into a human body. Your true form, your archangel form, can't exist here. And I'm glad Will says this. I was wrong to judge you. I think because why he kept so much from her in the first place. Because I'm an idiot, he confessed. I was wrong to judge you. I didn't think you were strong enough to take everything at once. But that was stupid. You have more strength in you than I've ever seen in anyone, and I don't know I don't mean how hard you can hit. I mean the strength you have to keep doing this without giving up. You might want to some days, but you never do. And I hate when you die. It destroys me. I know I have no right to be upset because I'm the one, not the one losing my life, but it breaks me apart inside. It's not very good. I'm not very good with words, and I don't know how to explain to you how I feel. I get lonely when you aren't with me. I miss you, and every time you die, a little piece of me dies with you. And I was like, oh, so sweet. Well, and when Bragnet killed you, I looked for you everywhere. But you didn't come back. For decades I looked for you, terrified the angels were punishing me for letting you die alone. I thought you'd never come back to me, that I'd lost you forever. And when you came back, when I saw you for the first time, in so very long, I've never been so happy in my life. And Ellie promises, I'll always come back to you. I promised, as a warm flood rushed through me. And then he says, I love you, Ellie. God, I've always loved you. It's like, oh, Lincoln's been replaced because he admits it in the first fucking book. All this time he breathed. I've always loved you and never said a thing. He kissed me hard and folded his arms around the small of my back, pulling me into him. I love this fucking writing. I wrapped my arms around his shoulder and felt his other hand on my waist. I drew a nail down his bicep, and the muscle trembled reflexively beneath my touch. He broke away, and his lips grazed my jaw. I shivered, pulled him closer to me. Don't forget that I'll always love you. And don't forget, and this is only book 1, and I had happy tears when I read that, by the way. I knew in that instant he was saying goodbye to his love for me. He pulled away, and this is where he's pulling a fucking Lincoln! And his fingertips trailed along my arm, and as if to make the moment last just a little longer, but my love for you is wrong. I can't have you, not this way. And I'm with Ellie. Something invisible would have stabbed me in the gut, too. Are you really doing this? And he says, you're a holy being. I can't touch you. I can be with you every day as your guardian because it's my duty, but I can't touch you the way I ache to. This isn't what Michael intended when he asked me to protect you. It's dangerous for us both if we get too close. And Ellie says, don't say that. She's begging him. Will, I'm in love with you. You're the only one who understands what I go through every day. The only one I can share this world with. You're my best friend, and I can't take it if you're going to shut me out like this. And Will continues, you can't love me, and I can't love you either. That you're not mine to love. And I love how Ellie's fighting for him. No, I shouted, you can't get this close to me and then push me away. And he says, I have to. And he left. And this is I think this is back at Nathan's house. And anger rushed through me. I wanted to follow him and smack him harder than I'd ever hit anything before in my life. And I'm fucking with you on that, Ellie. But I was too tired and too emotional to do anything. And I didn't want to fall off my roof, because she was on a roof. I stared straight after him and let out a long breath, so my next word had no trace of rage. And she said, coward. There ain't no rest for the wicked, so hunting is still happening. And money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, got mouths to feed. Yeah, there ain't no rest for the wicked. And Reapers were truly creatures of habit, and Will was no exception. Although his habits were fight Reapers, drive me crazy, sit on my roof, eat when I'm not looking, fight Reapers, drive me crazy. And the Reaper hissed and turned his face away from the bright light bearing his massive canines. He lifted his dark gaze to me. You're no Veer. How do you have such power? Who are you? And this is how this ends, by the book ends. I stepped up to him, my power swirling around me, and I straightened my other sword, poising the flaming blade at his skull. I stared intensely at him, my gaze colder than the winter air. I am the prelator. And that's how this book ends. And I really I like how we have that cliffhanger going on, and I can't wait to get, and I want to know what you, Book Nerdigans, thought. Did you like this book as a first installment of a series? I like that we got a lot of mythology in here too. And I'm curious, what did you guys think of this book? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you hashtag Team Caden or are you hashtag Team Will? I'm hashtag Team Caden for Team Caden all the way through. Even though Will is amazing, I gotta go with Caden because I'm a sucker for blondes. And Caden is just funny, and I love him. And Will is kind of like that moody type. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter. And also donate to my Patreon so I can continue to do more of these videos for you guys. And I will see you in the next video, which is Wings of the Wicked. Until next time, Book Nerdigans. Bye!